Hi, it's John from Crafts by John UK. Welcome to this show and tell. Today I'm going to be talking about this Christmas card, which I've made as one of my batch for this year. I make about 100 cards a year, and I like to do individual designs, and then I also batch make some. So in this show and tell, I'm just going to talk about this card. So you can see the main image is a stamped image. This is a lovely stamp that All and Create make, and it's got a beautiful image of a Father Christmas carrying a bag of presents with a tree behind him as well, some presents on the floor. I've stamped this on a basic piece of watercolour card, and then I've used my Arteza watercolour pens to colour it in. Now you can see I've not made obvious choices. So in the white of the fur, the white of the beard, I have put some lime green, some yellow. I'm hoping the camera can kind of pick that up, but just to give it a little bit more tone and a little bit more contrast around the edges. The tree I've coloured traditionally in greens, but you can see I've left dark green on one edge, fading to light green, just to give it a bit of depth as it recedes. So that sort of all adds to the lovely overall look, and it just creates a feeling of depth that the tree is behind the figure and receding away. The presents I've just coloured in a multitude of different colours. I've used block colour on these. I haven't really done much fading because they're quite small, and just to really get them to pop, I've left them in blocks of detail. I've used a different stamp at the bottom, so this isn't part of that set. This is just an unbranded stamp I bought from Amazon. A basic Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I quite like the text font. It's got a kind of an Art Deco feel to it. It's a very bold, basic character set, and then it's got a simple shadow behind it. It looks a little bit Art Deco to me, but with these twirls, etc., it looks quite nice, and just I think is a nice overall sentiment. And then what I've done, I coloured that in, I stamped it, coloured that in. I've then used a stencil. So I've got this Let It Snow stencil, and I've just lightly stenciled over using Distress inks in a vintage photo. So a basic brown. I've stenciled just holding the stencil on top of the image, and I've just brushed it. And then I've also then inked using a normal smoothie or a foam blender. I just inked around, so you can see I've just darkened the edges slightly using that same colour. So it kind of reinforces, because you've got the colour of the stencil and then you've got the colour that goes with it as well. So it kind of it makes it recede into the background. I've then also just added a basic black layer underneath, and then mounted it onto a 9x20 DL card blank. I put my usual printed sentiment inside, wishing you a happy Christmas and joyous New Year, and that card is printed, sort of sentiment done, everything ready to go, ready to write, ready to pop into an envelope and get into the post. So a nice, very, very traditional card, traditional imagery, a little bit of modern around the edges, and a bog standard message. So I think you'll agree that's quite a nice looking Christmas card. And as I say, this is an All and Create stamp. That's the main piece of this. It's from All and Create, available on their website, I believe. Anyway, hope you've enjoyed that, and I'll catch you next time.